and the strength and the ability and the accuracy and the speed. Oh gosh, you know I'm the best in the world. He's right in front of me and I can honestly tell him that I'm going to knock him spark out.
Yes. Welcome back, guys, to another edition of TDs and Flying Knees, aka TDFK podcast, your premier one-stop channel for mixed martial arts, boxing, and fantasy football. And today's a little different. Unfortunately, DJ and Lewis will not be joining us today. They're staying home because they might have come in contact with someone with COVID, those cowards. But let me introduce who I do have.
It's so weird being without the other two guys, man. I'm usually the last one to be introduced, but thank you guys for joining us again and coming back for another listen. We appreciate it.
And you know who it is, your host with the most, Smith Cruz. And let's get into it, guys. Let's start off the show with some MMA news and rumors.
All right, guys. I have some fight announcements in the UFC. I have one in Bellator and one in One Championship and Glory today. Nice. So let's start in the UFC. In the men's middleweight division, Alessio Di Chirico will fight Abdul Razak Al Hassan this weekend. This Saturday, at UFC Vegas 35 on August 28th. In the men's lightweight division, we have Dan Hooker fighting Nasrat Haqparast at UFC 266 on September 25th. In the women's bantamweight division, Misha Tate already has her next fight, guys. She's going to fight Ketlin Vieira at a UFC event on October 16th. Misha Tate just won a couple weeks.
By the way, had a son like a year ago. It's incredible.
Yeah, that's awesome, man. But yeah, I feel like she just fought, man. She already has her next fight lined up, and it's not even that long from now. We're already at the end of August, and her fight is in October, so that's good news. Let's go get into the men's bantamweight division. We've been waiting to hear about this for so long. Aljamain Sterling will finally defend his title against Petr Yan at UFC 267 on October 30th. Yeah, I'm sure if you're an MMA fan, you've been waiting months to hear this announcement finally made official. We all knew it had to be the next fight made just because of how the first one ended. I don't know how Sterling won I think he became the first guy to ever win a title by getting knocked out. So yeah, so that's good. Can't wait for that one, guys. On the same card, also added to UFC 267, is a top 10 light heavyweight matchup between Magomed Ankalaev and Volkan Oezdemir. Those guys are both in the top 10. Great fighters, man. That's a good matchup. I think it has title implications on it for Ankalaev. If he wins, I can see him getting a title shot. Next announcement is in the women's strawweight division. Cheyenne Bays will fight Loma Lukbunmi. And the last UFC announcement I have is in the women's flyweight division. Nina Nunes, Amanda Nunes' wife, she's going to fight Amanda Lemos at a UFC event on December 18th. And Bellator, I think we announced this a couple weeks ago, but it's finally been made official. It's Bellator announces its return to Dublin, headlined by James Gallagher versus Patchy Mix. That should be a great one. Patchy Mix is a former title contender, and James Gallagher is a talented guy, man. He's a good fighter. He's kind of annoying in my opinion, but he is a good fighter. On to One Championship, Christian Lee will defend his lightweight title against Ray Yoon Oak on September 24th. So that's going to be great. I know, Steve, you really like Christian Lee, right?
Yeah, he's good, man. The whole Lee family, his sister, and then his other little sister, crazy, man.
Yep.
You know, the talented family.
Very, man. Looking forward to that one. Let's move on to Glory, guys. Alistair Overeem. His Glory debut is finally set. He will face Rico Verhoeven for his heavyweight title on October 23rd in Arnhem, Netherlands.
Wow, guys. Rico Verhoeven is, one of the best currently in kickboxing. So shout out to Overeem for going straight back to a hard fight,
Yep.
And his back to his roots in kickboxing. So that's going to be a great fight. I can't wait for that.
The event will stream on pay-per-view via Glory's new streaming platform, gloryfights.com. If you can't find yourself a stream and you really want to watch it, go to Glory Fights. You'll have to pay for it. I don't know how much it is, but you will be able to watch it there. Unfortunately, guys, I do have some UFC fight cancellations along with these fight announcements. Paddy Pimblett, who we've all been waiting for, is out of his upcoming bout against Luigi Vendramini on September 4th. They're looking to reschedule that. Oh, actually, you know what? Vendramini's staying on the card, so the fight won't be rescheduled. Paddy Pimblett will get a new opponent whenever he's ready to go. Another fight cancellation is Alexander Gustafsson. He's injured and out of his upcoming fight with Paul Craig. I was really looking forward to that one because Gustafsson's going back down to 205. Unfortunately, we'll have to wait a little longer. That's all the fight announcements I have. I do have a little bit of MMA news, and that's just that Ronaldo Jacare Souza has announced his retirement from MMA. He's a former Strikeforce champion, a BJJ black belt, former Abu Dhabi Combat Club World Championships grappling competition champion as well. He's just he's been one of the best middleweights in the world for like the last decade, you know. So just something piece of news I wanted to share with you guys. I've watched a lot of his fights. They were always entertaining. I feel like he knocked out Chris Weidman not too long ago. So it's sad to see that guy go.
Yeah, he's definitely a legend, man. He was tearing it up in other organizations before he graced the UFC with his presence, but he was tearing it up in Dream from what I can remember.
Yep.
All right. Is that all you got?
Yep, that's it. That's all the news I got.
All right, guys. Let's go to boxing news and rumors. First and foremost, Brandon Figueroa versus Stephen Fulton on for September 18th on Showtime. And what I'm excited about is seeing Brandon Figueroa's sister again.
Wow, you guys are very nice.
Very nice. So I'm excited for that. Next up, WBC orders Jamie Munguia versus Sergey Derevchenko.
Yes.
That's going to be a great fight.
Sure is, man. I'm looking forward to it.
Wow. The real life Drago, Arthur Beterbiev versus Marcus Brown, ordered by the WBC. No date yet, but I'm looking forward to that because Beterbiev is a beast.
Yep.
Next up, some rumors. Conor McGregor wants to resume his boxing training with Eddie Reynoso. So check this out. He tweeted, I don't know if he tweeted this or posted on Instagram. Canelo's team. Bless you, champ. My man, appreciate you, sir. Eddie Reynoso, big fan of your work and what you're doing with those guys in the gym. One day we'll get to train. I hope so, said McGregor. Yeah, man. I was surprised when I read this because I think the last time McGregor was talking about Canelo was talking about knocking him out. I remember hearing that and thinking it's such bullshit. You'll never fight Canelo in a boxing match. So yeah, I'd be surprised if Canelo, accepts his request and allows him to come train. But if it did happen, it'd be fucking cool, dude. I mean, those guys are like two of the best fighters in their own respective sports, and it'd be pretty cool to see them train together. And Canelo gave a lot of credit to his coach for his wins, you know, so that guy Eddie Reynoso, he's a real deal, man. So maybe him and people have been criticizing McGregor's coaches, saying that he's just surrounded by a bunch of yes men. So maybe McGregor going and training with Eddie Reynoso will take his boxing at least to a whole nother level. You know? Yeah, man, I think he'll whip him into shape, man, because Reynoso looks like he tells Canelo some shit he don't like. Yeah, for sure, man. That's Canelo.
That's a sign of a great coach, even in a completely different sport. But Greg Popovich, he would treat Tim Duncan the same way. Yeah, that he would treat everyone else. He would get on his ass. He would yell at him the same way he would yell at the last guy on the bench. So, Eddie Reynoso, if Conor McGregor goes and trains there, he's, hey, I think it's definitely significant news. And heading into if he does come back and fight Dustin Poirier, who knows, man? Like he could look different.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Next up, guys. This was from the fight last weekend. Joshua Franco. I didn't get to put this in last week's news, but Joshua Franco is in line to face the winner of Estrada versus Chocolatito rubber match. Order per the WBA. And me, I'm just like, wow. Because I remember, Franco's a hometown kid, you know what I mean? And I know he grew up watching Chocolatito. I mean, a few years ago, Chocolatito was number one on the pound for pound list over Canelo, over Andre Ward, over everyone else. Yep. So wow, man, for him to get a chance to fight either him or another legend. I think when he
lost to Sorung Vasai, right?
Yeah,
and that was like a big upset.
It was a big upset. I thought he won that first fight, but the second fight got knocked out.
Yeah.
So, But yeah, man, wow, that's crazy, man. Shout out to Franco, man, for making shit happen, man.
I kind of hoping that it's Chocolatito.
Yeah, me too, man. That's a bigger name.
It's a bigger name, you know. Yeah.
I hope you get that fight, man, and you know that's a legacy fight.
Yep.
That's what everyone looks for, and good luck to you, man. And also, real quick, that Frankie Maloney fight averaged 392,000 viewers and peaked at 467,000. So not bad.
Wow, that's not bad at all, man.
Last on my news agenda for boxing, guys, how can you not like Jake Paul? Jake Paul is taking less money to assure every fighter on his upcoming pay-per-view card is paid fairly. The card features Amanda Serrano, Tyron Woodley, Ivan Burchek, Daniel Dubois, and Bellator vet Anthony Taylor and Tommy Fury. So, wow, he's taking a pay cut so everybody could get paid. And, guys, we're going to talk about this card later, and it's fucking stacked. I haven't seen a boxing card like that in a long, long time.
Yep.
All right, guys, let's get into the fight reviews. First up, Bellator 265. Not a lot of buzz around this. Not going to lie, I wasn't too excited, but I'm glad I tuned in, at least for the main event. Chet Congo defeats Sergey Kharitonov versus submission. A rear naked choke at the 4:59 mark of round 2.
Damn.
What a great fight, man. Both these guys, you know, they are past their prime, but they're bringing the heat. Sergey almost finished Congo in the first, man. It looks like he landed a head kick. Maybe the toe went into his eye. It looked like he just
Congo
turned around.
just turned his back to him, man. It was weird.
Man, if there was a few more seconds left, I think he would have got the stoppage. But in Congo, in classic Congo fashion, he comes back, the comeback kid, and he puts him on his back and submits him, man. He didn't even have the hooks in.
Nope.
But like Jeff said earlier, when you're that strong, you don't need hooks.
Yep. I think everybody remembers Congo's comeback against Pat Barry.
Wow.
If you've been watching MMA a while, yeah, that's one of the greatest comebacks I've ever seen, man. I think Pat Barry it looked like he might have, like, the ref could have stopped the fight on at least 2 different times.
Yeah, definitely.
Before, and then he got knocked out. It was crazy, man.
Yeah, I watched that fight with DJ. It was on Fuel.
Oh, shit.
Fuel TV when they were still there, and we watched it at his grandma's house, and we were screaming,
going crazy,
bloody
man.
murder, going crazy. This poor grandma.
Nice.
She probably thought we were getting attacked or something. All right, guys. Next up, Logan Storley defeats Dante Shiro via split decision. Next up, Marcelo Golm defeats Billy Swanson via TKO in round 1. Last up, Jornel Lugo defeats Keith Lee via rear naked choke.
Yep.
So, like I said, not the best card, but you know that main event was pretty cool, man. Seen some
Definitely
legends like that. All right, next up, guys, you saw PFL Playoffs 2, Harrison versus Fabian.
Yeah, Fabian. Jenna Fabian.
Okay.
The first fight on this card, on this main card, guys, was Ante Delija defeating Denis Goltsov via unanimous decision. That was a heavyweight semifinal. The next fight on the main card was Taylor Guardado defeating Mariano Moraes via split decision, and that was a women's lightweight semifinal. The women's lightweight final was the main event. We'll get there in a minute. The co-main event of the evening was Bruno Capoloza defeating Jermell Jones via TKO in round 2. That was also a heavyweight semifinal. And then the main event we all saw, or if you tuned in, Kayla Harrison defeating Jenna Fabian via TKO round 1 at the 4:01 mark. I think going into this fight, we all kind of knew. I mean, all of us here on TDFK, we all picked Kayla Harrison. It was just a matter of how she was going to win. And she proved us right once again, man. It was not even really a fight in there, right, Steve? It was just complete domination.
Yeah, that's what's that saying on Grandma's Boy? Was it Grandma's Boy? It's like it looks like Tyson were to fight an infant. That's what happened pretty much.
Right.
So yeah, I mean, she just kind of, the bell rang and she just put her hands on her and did what she wanted.
Yep, did what Kayla Harrison does. Man.
When Kayla Harrison fights, it's not who, it's how. How is she gonna win? Pretty much, man. Until she maybe signs with the UFC and gets like elite competition. Even at that, man, it's still top heavy. Oh, she's still gonna take out a lot of those people, a lot of those girls in the UFC, man.
She will, man. So she'll be fighting Taylor Guardado, who won in the second fight of the main card. She beat her opponent. And so Kayla Harrison will be fighting Taylor Bordado for the, in the final. And I think early predictions here, we all got Kayla Harrison winning pretty easily.
Spoiler alert! There is no freaking puzzle. I put you on your back and I messed you up. I told you one by one, they're all gonna fall. So doubt me now, but I'm gonna show you how great I am.
Man, what a post fight! What a post fight interview, man. That got me hyped. Like, not only does she have the skills to pay the bills, she got the mouth that would back up, like great fight weeks.
Yeah, she did, man. Did you hear her call out Izzy?
Yeah,
Israel
Izzy
Adesanya?
couldn't stop her takedowns.
Another
right?
smart move, right?
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah. He's one of the biggest names in the sport right now. She said, "I will take him down."
Yeah, Kayla, she's definitely good for the sport, man, and I'm happy that there's someone like her going on because women's MMA needed someone else because Amanda Nunes and even Valentina they didn't got no one else to fight.
Yeah, man. The only thing that worries me about Harrison is that she's a little bit big. She does fight at 155, and she looks like a big 55. I know that in her post-fight press conference, someone brought up Cyborg. Cyborg tweeted out or put somewhere on social media, "Hey, I can make 155," kind of like calling out Harrison.
Mm-hmm.
Harrison did entertain the idea of fighting Cyborg, and I would love to see it, honestly. That'd be a huge, massive step up in competition for Harrison. I don't think it would be smart for her to take that fight right away, because if Cyborg can keep the fight standing, I think she'll kind of expose Harrison the way that Holly Holm exposed Ronda Rousey, So, because we haven't really seen Harrison's striking, she's always able to just strike just enough to, get her opponent thinking about the strikes and then getting on the takedown and get the fight to the ground. That's where she finishes her fights, whether it's by submission or by knockout. So, but yeah, man, she's just on another level. Can't wait to see the girl compete again.
And what do we have next? UFC Vegas 34?
Yep, that's it, man. Cannonier versus Gastelum. The first fight on the main card was a fight that I was personally looking forward to most.
Mm-hmm.
And it delivered. It was a fight in the men's flyweight division. It was a top 10 matchup. And this fight did not disappoint, guys. It was number 3, Alessandre Pantoja versus number 6, Brandon Royval. Pantoja walks away with a submission victory by rear naked choke in the second round. This fight was high pace, all action from beginning to end. In the first, there was some really cool grappling sequences. Pantoja had Royval's back for a good amount of time, man, and Pantoja's good on the ground. He actually has a submission win over Brandon Moreno, I believe. But yeah, had Royval's back. Royval kind of survives. He scrambles a lot. Just made it really entertaining. A lot of times you think, if there's grappling for an extended period of time, it's going to be pretty boring. Well, not this grappling. Go back and watch this fight, and Brandon Royval will show you different. But, he didn't walk away with the win. But I appreciate the fighting style that he brings. It's not he's in your face, constantly moving forward. And, his game plan is pretty much to just break you mentally and then physically. And I feel like he was on his way to doing that, man. I was real disappointed. All it took was one punch or one slip. Pantoja slipped the left hand that Royval overcommitted to. And Pantoja was behind him, man. He just dragged him down to the ground, sunk in that rear naked choke, and that fight was over, man. But it was super fun while it lasted.
Yeah, man. It's chess, not checkers, man.
Yep. Pantoja just a little more experienced than Royval. Like I say, he's been in there twice with the now champion, has 2 wins over him. And after the fight, he actually called Moreno out. And when you got 2 wins over the current champ, it's kind of hard to deny the guy a shot at the belt, So hopefully we'll see that fight next. I'd rather see that fight than see Moreno fight Figgy again. But yeah, to kick off the main card, great fight. If you didn't get to see it, go back and watch that fight. Next up on the card was a lightweight matchup between Vince Pichel and Austin Hubbard. Pichel wins that one by UD. Next fight on the card was in the men's bantamweight division. Trevin Jones loses to late replacement opponent. This is the hardest name on the card, man. It's Saidyoku Kakramanov. I don't know. We'll have to drink for you guys.
Yeah, we're taking a drink.
Jones loses by guillotine in the third round. Next up was in the men, or obviously there's only a men's heavyweight division. In the heavyweight division, Chase Sherman versus Parker Porter.
Man, that was a good fight.
It was for heavyweight fight, right?
Mm-hmm.
For it not, I mean, obviously heavyweight fights stay in knockouts. Usually this one went to a decision. And it was pretty good.
Yeah, I can't wait to see Porter again, man. I thought he looked good. He was throwing bombs and mixing it up pretty good. Well, with the, I mean, he didn't get the takedowns, but
Mixing it up.
yeah, he's mixing it up.
Yep.
I can't wait to see him again.
Yep, same here, man. In the co-main event, we saw Clay Guida lose to Mark Madsen via split decision. It was a very close fight. I mean, obviously it's split, so we know one judge did give it to Guida. I actually scored the first 2 rounds for Guida, and I gave the last one to Madsen. But I can't call robbery, man. It was too close of a fight. These guys were pretty evenly matched. It was high paced too. A lot of level changes, a lot of feints. You know how Clay Guida fights, just constantly moving, always entertaining. But yeah, Guida unfortunately walks away with the loss. And then in the main event of the evening, it was a matchup between 2 top 10 middleweights in the world, number 9 Kelvin Gastelum, number 3 Jared Cannonier, and very competitive fight, guys. Both of these guys were having success striking. It was, for the most part, it was pretty much a kickboxing match. Gastelum did mix in takedowns though, so it wasn't strictly striking. Gastelum did level change and have Cannonier thinking about the takedown. I gave the first round to Cannonier, second to Kelvin. Third round we saw Cannonier drop Kelvin with a nasty right hook. Did you see that?
Yes.
Dude, it was ugly.
He did the stanky leg.
Yeah, dude. And Kelvin just pops right back up though, man. It's crazy. Like his recovery is so quick. He can just recover from bombs like quick, man. He's never been knocked out in his career. So the third one's Cannonier. Fourth I gave to Cannonier also. And the fifth I gave to Kelvin. But yeah, this was just one of those fights that was just real difficult to score, man. I wouldn't want to be a judge for it. There were close competitive rounds, but I did feel like at the end of the fight, I felt like the right fighter was given the nod. I felt like Cannonier won, and I'm glad that he got the decision because he was just landing the cleaner, more damaging shots,
Yeah, definitely. And I got that pick wrong, man. I for sure thought Gastelum was gonna win, man.
Yeah.
But that's fighting for you, man. Any given night.
Yep. He looked good. I have nothing negative to say about him. He came to fight. He didn't look bad. He looked fast. His hands still looked super quick, man. He looked strong. He was able to take Cannonier down, but Cannonier would just pop right back up. He's super strong himself, So, but yeah, I can't wait to see either of these guys fight again. Especially Cannonier. Now that he's won, he's gonna get he's already number 3. He can only go up from here now. Here I actually give him credit for taking Gastelum as an opponent. Gastelum is number 9.
Yeah, and
he's a tough fight, dude. He's a super tough fight. People forget this guy fought 5 rounds with Izzy in a striking match and actually put more damage on Izzy than anybody has in his career.
Yeah,
I know that
a great fight.
Yeah, I know that Jan beat him, but I would argue that that Gastelum did more damage.
If there was more rounds, someone would have died, man. That's what I think, man. There was both of those men were ready to die for that fight, and I was ready to give that excuse to Gastelum that maybe he gave a little piece of him died in that Izzy fight. You know what I mean? But now he looked good, man. Cannonier was the better man. Yep.
And I actually felt that way too, Steve. Like the last couple fights, Cannonier, not Cannonier, Gastelum, he just didn't look as good as he looked before the Izzy fight. Mm-hmm. And this is the first fight. I know it's a loss, but this is the first fight that I've watched of Kelvin and just thought to myself that he looks great. He looks like he did before that fight. He looks like he's all the way back now. Mm-hmm. So hopefully he doesn't get too down on himself for this loss and he gets back in there because I do still think he has the potential to make some noise in the middleweight division.
All right, that's all we have for that UFC Vegas 34, and probably the main event for a lot of people was a legendary boxer Manny Pacquiao versus Yardenis Ugas.
Yep.
And man, what an upset. I don't think anybody's seen that coming. I think I only saw one expert say that we're crazy for thinking Pacquiao was going to beat Ugas. That's only one guy. I mean, who could have predicted that, man? I mean, just a year ago, Pacquiao looked amazing against one of the best welterweights in the planet, and it's Keith Thurman.
Yep.
And he's one of the fastest, way faster than Ugas. Wow, I didn't see this coming, man. Ugas' his defense was great. Ugas used his reach. Yep. He used his right hand was on point, man, all night. Ugas had the answer to beat Pac, man, to beat Pacquiao. I mean, he was big, strong, and physical like Jeff Horn.
Yep.
He was landing counters like Marquez. He showed ring IQ and smarts like Mayweather, and he showed that dog in him when he needed to, like Morales. And those are all the 4 guys that beat Pacquiao, man. And he kind of just embodied all those things.
Yeah,
I saw, man. And I wish I would have been bold enough to predict it on the last episode, but I did say that Ugas is tough. What you're going to see with him is a lot of jabs and double jabs, and he's going to work everything behind that. And that's exactly what he did.
Exactly.
But yeah, man, I didn't see that coming. And shout out to Manny Pacquiao for fighting dangerous opponents still at this stage of his career, man.
What was it, like a week notice? Something like that?
Yeah, it was something short like that.
Yeah, some short.
Ugas was already on the card.
Yeah,
fighting,
he was.
I don't know who, but yeah, man, and it kind of makes me like glad that it wasn't Earl Spence fighting him, because I think Earl would have stopped him.
Yeah, after seeing that, I think so, man. Ugas just looked too big, man. Like that to me, watching the fight, like just the way. It's one thing to be big, but it's another to be big and use it to your advantage, and that's what Ugas was doing. He was good at it. He used his reach. He used his jab, and yeah, he just looked better, man. Pacquiao just doesn't look the same, you know. Like everybody eventually starts to get old and get a little slower. Hopefully,
it's time, man. Undefeated.
Hopefully, he doesn't.
That's what DJ would say.
Yeah, exactly. He doesn't. He didn't take too much. He didn't take a whole lot of unnecessary damage. He did get hit with some decent shots, but I don't think he was ever like hurt in the fight. But hopefully, he does leave the sport before he starts taking that unnecessary damage.
Yeah, definitely. But like I said, Manny, you're a legend. I hate your fans. I hate Pactards, but you're definitely a legend, man. And you definitely have one of the best resumes in boxing. So hopefully, I don't know, whatever you do, you retire or you come back, I'm happy and excited for you either way. Next up, let's do the fight previews. We pride ourselves in covering combat, guys. I mean, other podcasts you watch, they're going to cover a UFC card and maybe a Bellator here and there. But man, we're covering 5 fight cards, man. It's insane. We're covering combat. We're getting you covered all week. You know what I mean? This is the holy trinity of every man. Boxing, MMA, and football. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And this is the show for you if you identify with that. So coming up on Friday morning at 7:30 Central Time, AM, One Championship's Battleground 3, guys. And the main event is a Muay Thai bout between legendary kickboxer Sidney Chai versus Tall One Chai. And for some reason, I could not find their first names.
It doesn't even have a first name. It just says McLovin. One name? One name? Who are you, Seal?
Yeah, I did not find their first names, man. So it's Shitty Chai versus Tall One Chai, man. I don't know their first names. So sorry, guys. But honestly, from what I seen with let's start with Shitty Chai. What I seen, first off from his from the videos, is sick pull counters. I thought I was watching a professional boxing fight, man. His counters were sick. He landed a sick pull counter uppercut. Wow. I thought I was watching Floyd or something. And it did look really slick, man. I don't see that from Muay Thai guys.
Right.
And he has sick kicks to the body. He does a lot of jumping knees to the body, and he loves to end every combo with a knee to the body. And his opponent's face show it, man.
Nice.
It's pretty sick. And Tall One Chai, the first thing I noticed, this dude has clubs for fist. Every time he landed a punch, you hear a thud. It was like that scene in Jurassic Park where the T-Rex and the cup of water.
Right.
Man, you just heard some thuds. It was insane. That he probably took some years off that kid's life, man. And he does a lot of lead elbows, lots of spinning elbows, and he does these sick leaping 12-6 elbows that crack you on the top of the head like Tony fucking Jaw. So that's cool, man. I mean, like these Muay Thai bouts are sick with these little 4-ounce gloves, man. They add a different element, man.
They are, man.
In the co-main event, Baman Dorchi versus Deja Damn Wrong. I don't know too much about these guys. There's very little film, but from what I could see, Dorchi, he is one of the hottest young MMA fighters in China today. He's part of this program in China that teaches foster kids or orphans how to do MMA. So
Wow.
he's in that. He grew up in that program, and that's why there's a lot of hype around him. He looks like a K-pop singer, man. He's like a. He looks
super
like he's
young,
in,
dude.
yeah. He looks like he's in sync or something. And the rest of the card is stacked, guys. There's a lot of hype around Bai Nugent. So check her out too, guys. This is One Championship Battleground 3. You're not going to be disappointed with that main event. Guaranteed. 7:30 in the morning.
And best of all, guys, it's free.
It's free on YouTube. Everybody has YouTube.
Everybody has YouTube.
Bleacher Report, right? That's who does it?
Yeah, Bleacher Report. You can find it on Bleacher Report too.
Yeah. So I can't wait for that, man. Love waking up to that. Wake and bake to that.
Yeah.
All right. Next up, PFL Playoffs 3.
So the main event is Brennan Loughnane versus Movlid KHAYBULAEV. Also on the card, Chris Wade versus Bubba Jenkins. Emiliano Sordi versus Antonio Carlos Jr., who is a UFC veteran. And also another UFC veteran, Cesar Vejeda versus Martin Hamlet.
Yeah, we're not going to break too much down about this card, guys, because like I said, we're covering a lot of fight cards. We got to be a little selective.
Right.
But the main event, I do feel is going to be good. Brandon, how do you pronounce his last name?
Loughnane, I think.
Loughnane. He has power and speed. He's definitely going to have the power and speed advantage. That boy has sick kicks. And he has good boxing, really good boxing. So I think he's going to have the edge if he could keep it standing. But that's a big if, because I don't know how to pronounce it. What's his name again?
Loughnane. Brendan Loughnane.
No, the other guy.
I just... Mavlid KHAYBULAEV.
Here, I'll do this real quick so we know for sure. And we have to drink.
KHAYBULAEV.
KHAYBULAEV. I don't know.
There you go.
Yeah. He's a student of Khabib's.
Oh, yeah. Those are always fun to watch,
Khabib
right?
is undefeated as a mixed martial artist and a coach.
Yeah.
So, and I looked him up. The dude's a sick grappler, man. And he's also undefeated.
Wow.
Man, I think it'd be silly to pick again. I mean, because it's kind of like boxing. You know, the boxer always beats the brawler most of the time.
Right.
And in MMA, we've seen most of the time the grappler beats the striker. Most of the time, it's just like that, man.
Yep.
So yeah, man, I'm.
Look at Barbosa Khabib.
Yeah,
that's a pretty good example. Barbosa's explosive striker, awesome striker, but it don't matter if you're laying on your back most of the fight, you know.
Yeah, definitely. And then Chris Wade versus Bubba Jenkins is going to be a great fight. I know Chris Wade's a striker,
right?
And it's kind of the same thing. Bubba Jenkins wants to get you on your back and land some bombs. It's going to be a good fight card, especially on a Friday or Thursday?
Yep, that's on Friday.
It's on Friday. So Friday morning, you start your day off with One Championship Battleground 3.
The main card starts at 10 Eastern. Prelims start at 6:30 Eastern.
Well, there you go. That's your Friday full right there. And let's move on to UFC Vegas 35.
Yep. Very next night, Barbosa versus Cacace fight card. The first fight on the main card is a middleweight fight between Gerald Meerschaert and Mahmoud Muradov. The second fight on the main card, Andre Petrovsky versus Michael Gilmore. And then we have a great matchup, guys. And this is the fight that I'm looking forward to most on the card. It's in the welterweight division. We have Kevin Lee versus Daniel Rodriguez. Mm-hmm. And Daniel Rodriguez right now is one of my favorite fighters. He's up and comer. He doesn't have too many fights. I think he has like maybe 5 fights in the UFC. But they are always interesting fights, entertaining. I'm actually picking him against Kevin Lee, man. We all know what Kevin Lee wants to do. He's going to want to come in and grapple, wrestle, get the fight to the ground. And don't get me wrong, he's very good at it. If he gets Daniel Rodriguez down, I do believe Kevin Lee has the skills to dominate him. But I think Rodriguez will be able to keep the fight standing, and I think he's going to finish Kevin Lee.
Yeah, I had Kevin Lee originally winning, and I went back and looked at some film of Daniel Rodriguez, and wow, he has an amazing jab.
Yep.
He has a great jab, and just great overall fighter, man. But I was super impressed by that jab, and we saw Kevin Lee having trouble against Ai Quinta.
Yeah. Yep.
And it's because of that jab. He couldn't get inside because of that jab, and I think Daniel Rodriguez has a way better jab.
Yep.
So, yeah, I think I might change my pick to Rodriguez too. I don't know how or what by what, but I definitely think he's going to win. I have to look at that. But I did have Kevin Lee via decision, but now I'm probably going to change it.
Lee, he also couldn't get Iaquinta to the ground. Struggled getting Al down. I think he'll struggle getting Daniel Rodriguez down. This fight is at the division up. Iaquinta was at lightweight. This is at welterweight. So Rodriguez is going to be a little bigger, a little stronger. So yeah, I think Rodriguez keeps the fight on the feet, picks Lee apart, and wins the fight by TKO. Next fight on the card, guys, is the bantamweight finals of TUF 29. Ricky Turcos versus Brady Heiston. And the winner earns a UFC contract. The co-main event on the card is Brian Battle versus Gilbert Urbina. And winner of this will be crowned the middleweight champion of TUF 29 and also earn a UFC contract. So we'll get to see two fighters' dreams come true.
Do you have picks for those two fights?
Not yet, man.
No.
I've looked into them a little bit, but I'm not ready to make my picks just yet.
Okay. I have Ricky. What's the Turcos?
Ricky Turcos, yeah.
Turcos via decision, and I have Battle winning via KO in the third. Man, I liked what I seen with Battle.
Yeah, dude, I like Battle. I'm gonna pick Battle, but it's the other fight that I'm not ready to make a pick on. Yeah, but yeah, I'm with you on Battle. I think he'll get the win, man. And then the main event of the evening is Edson Barbosa versus Giga Chikadze in the featherweight division. We all know who Edson Barbosa is. He's riding a 2-fight winning streak right now. A little bit about Giga Chikadze, 6-0 in the UFC, with his last win being a knockout of UFC veteran, longtime UFC veteran, Cub Swanson. Chikadze is also a former Glory kickboxer who had a record of 38-6 with 22 knockouts, guys. And you know what this fight is going to be, right? These dudes are going to kickbox. Because Edson Barbosa, that's what he does, man.
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah, I have this note on my notes right here. Both dudes are kickers.
Yeah, they are, man.
So that's insane. And Giga, he's a southpaw.
Okay.
Right?
All right. Yep.
And he loves to switch stances a lot. So I think that's going to confuse
Barbosa
a lot. And like you said, he is a kickboxer. I put technical kickboxer, but you said it better, man.
He has a sick kick to the body, and it's going to be there because Barbosa isn't southpaw. He's orthodox. So, that kick to the body. Man, I'm going for Barbosa, and I'm also picking Barbosa. So I've just always been a Barbosa fan, man. I like watching the guy fight. So I'm hoping he gets a win. But honestly, it is a tough matchup.
Yeah, I think I'm picking Barbosa too. I have here via KO in the third, and I was basing that just because he looked good in that Shane Burgos fight.
He did, man.
So that's kind of what I'm basing it on, So
yep.
We'll see what happens. Our picks are usually pretty dead on, guys. So
yeah, don't get us wrong, guys. Chikadze, he's a great fighter, man. He's an excellent striker, and these dudes are going to strike. Anything can happen, obviously, in a striking match when two guys are as explosive as these two. But yeah, I'm going with Barbosa just because I think he has the experience advantage, the UFC experience advantage. Obviously, Chikadze is a former kickboxer. He's got all the kickboxing experience you need. But I think Barbosa has been in the bigger fights more recently, fought the bigger names, the tougher competition. So, yeah, I'm going with Barbosa by knockout.
Yeah, definitely. Because, even though Cub Swanson's a good name on the resume, Cub Swanson hasn't been elite in a while, man.
Yep, true.
All right, next up we have... Yes, your UK fight fix, guys. It's Saturday. You're waiting for the big UFC card. You're bored. None of your homies are online. What do? I got you covered. You're going to tune in to BT Sports for Frank Warren's Queensberry promotion. All right. And the main event we have Cacace versus Woodstock.
Pop these niggas like a willy nigga.
Whoa.
You a silly nigga in the hole with the
No, not Takashi. Cacace. Anthony Cacace versus Leon Woodstock. I'm going to breeze through this real quick. Just because these are going to be good fights. I promise you. But it's not really as important as the rest. These are UK domestic fights, but they're still high level and great. I promise you at 1 o'clock on a Saturday, you can't go wrong watching these fights. All right. So first off, Cacace, he calls himself the Apache and he's from Ireland. He's 18-1. He's slick and powerful, man. Woodstock is 12-2. But his 2 losses come by guys ranked number 5. A guy ranked number 5 in the IBF and number 2 in the IBO. He's a technical boxer, but from what I could see, he can get out of his game plan and brawl. And he likes to take one to give one. My pick for this one is Cacace on points. Next up, the co-main event that's getting so much buzz around the UK. I mean, this fight has everything. This fight has bad blood, trash talk, and the Instagram beef is crazy.
Nice.
This is Akeem Ennis-Brown versus Sam Maxwell in a junior welterweight, 12 rounds for Ennis-Brown's British and Commonwealth titles. First up, Ennis-Brown is super awkward. I haven't seen someone with an awkward stance like that since what's his name? Emmanuel. What's his name? The boxer that dances. He fought Mayweather too. He's constantly dancing, just doing weird shit like that. But okay. Emmanuel something. I haven't seen anybody with a awkward style, man. And he's weird footwork. The dude keeps his hands down. Lots of head and waist movement. Likes to slip and counter. He's slick, man. He's really slippery. Slippery.
That's pretty slippery.
And Maxwell on the other hand, bro, he's 15-0. He's undefeated as well. He had the round of the year after being dropped. He came back and knocked out Sudiri. So that was a good fight. And it was round of the year in Britain. He has a good chin. He got heart. The boy can crack. He has one punch KO power. But like I said earlier, usually the boxer always wins. So I'm picking Ennis-Brown on points. And the real reason why I'm talking about this fight card, because one of my favorite light heavyweights fighters, Anthony Yarde, he's on this undercard and he is a knockout artist. I cannot wait to see him. If he wins this fight, it sets up a potential rematch with Lyndon Arthur, who we seen before and we covered him. And I made a statement saying that Lyndon Arthur has the best jab in Britain.
Right.
And I can't wait for that rematch. It's going to be devastating power versus the best jab in Britain. That's going to be a great fight. I can't wait for that, man. So tune in to BT Sports. You're probably going to have to stream it because you're not in the UK if you're here in America. But it's 1 o'clock Central Time. I don't know what that is for you, but find it out. Put it on Crackstream, something.
Yep.
All right, next up, guys, the main event of the week, Paul versus Woodley. Seriously, man, I know that sounds weird.
Sure does.
And maybe you're listening like, what do you mean the main event? It's not even real fighting. Well, guys, let me drop some knowledge on you real quick because Jake Paul is showcasing some legit fighters, man. This fight card is stacked. The opening bout is Tommy Fury versus Bellator veteran Anthony Taylor, and a little bit about these guys. And yes, Tommy Fury is a reality star in the UK.
I only want to be with you. So therefore, I was wondering if you wanted to be my girlfriend.
Yes, guys, this is serious. He is a reality star in the UK. So it's not just Jake Paul, man. Let me see. But yeah, he's fighting Bellator vet Anthony Taylor, and I don't know too much about Anthony Taylor, and I didn't make a pick for this fight, but I'm just gonna go on a limb and say Tommy Fury, man, is gonna win. It's only 6-round fight, so it's probably just gonna go to the scorecards. But Tommy Fury's still really raw. He's still really green, and he's still trying to fight his fighting style, from what I could see, because I seen him come in, you know, fighting from range, fighting smart. Then I seen him blitz guys, just pure blitzing. So right. He's still trying to find out what he's doing. And this is a good showcase fight for him. All right, guys. Next up, Charles Conwell versus Juan Carlos Rubio. And man, I feel sorry for Rubio. Conwell is a beast. He is a fucking beast. He is a fierce body puncher that's looking to put you on your back, man. And I'm not trying to boast, but Cornwell is one of the few active fighters that's killed someone in the ring.
Wow.
So And like I said, I'm not boasting that. And he stopped fighting for a whole year because of it, because he kept, it kept replaying in his head, man. I'm sure he'd rather not win that fight, if he knew that was going to happen.
Yeah.
But rest in peace, I believe it was Patrick Day. That was his name. He floored him with an ugly shot, and he had a seizure on the way to the hospital. But yeah, Cornwell is, like I said, not boasting, but man, that boy's fierce and he hits hard. So I feel bad for Rubio, man. And that's just another great, and this is on the undercard, guys. And I'm definitely picking Cornwell for that by knockout. Next up, we have Montana Love versus Ivan Berichek, guys. This is probably going to be fight of the night, in my opinion, because, wow. First and foremost, this is a step up in competition for Montana Love. He's still green, but the dude is a slick mover. He's a counter puncher boxer. And man, if you have time, look up his pad work on YouTube. It is sick. Ivan Berichek is no joke. He's a fucking dog, man. His only 2 losses are from the best, Josh Taylor and Jose Zapata. In the Zapata fight, we saw Berichek and Zapata trade 8 knockdowns over 5 rounds.
Damn.
Dude, it was 2020's consensus fight of the year. And it ended with Zapata flooring Berichek later in the fight. But my pick is probably going to have to be Montana Love on points, man. But, man, that's going to be a great fight. I'm telling you, you're not going to be disappointed. Next up, I believe this is not even the co-main event. This is another fight I'm excited for. Daniel Dubois, a.k.a. Triple D, versus Joe Cusimano. This is a heavyweight fight, 10 rounds. Daniel Dubois is 18-1 with 15 knockouts. Cusimano is 19-3 with 17 knockouts. There's no way this fight ends other than a knockout, guys.
Nice.
Cusimano is, I believe, from what I read, I could be wrong, but I swear I read that he's one of the highest ranked Americans in the heavyweight division. And he's number 11. So I guess there's not too many American heavyweights.
Right. Yeah.
Ooh, maybe Andy Ruiz.
He might be Mexican.
Mexico, now? Right?
Yeah, he might be Mexican.
Okay, well, he's ranked number 11. The dude has a high knockout ratio. Aggressive. He throws combinations. That's what he does, and he has a good chin. Daniel Dubois, 1 punch knockout power. He has the skills to pay the bills, man. He's one of my favorite fighters, and I'm excited that Jake Paul is letting him make his American debut, because how many UK fighters do you know that has success in America other than like Ricky Hatton? Who else? Amir Khan, maybe, who crossed over Joe Calzaghe. I mean, he didn't even really become a star, and he beat the best, Calzaghe.
Did Kell Brook fight over here?
Yeah, against Terrence Crawford, but I think he got wiped out real fast.
He did. Yeah.
So the point is there's not a lot of successful UK fighters that get to cross over to America, and he's getting this chance early in his career. So that's amazing, man. And then in the co-main event, you have Amanda Serrano, one of the most hyped female boxers around right now. Amanda Serrano, she's fighting I don't know how to pronounce her name. I'm sorry. I wish Luis was here. She's from Mexico.
Yeah, Luis. Where you at,
Mercado. Yanith Mercado. Okay. Yeah, man. There's a lot of hype around Serrano, man. Yeah, this is one fight that I'm actually excited to tune in for, man, because Serrano has some heat in those gloves, man. She has knockout power. She got dynamite, man, in those gloves, and she looks like a female Triple G, man, just cutting off the ring, man. She looks really good. I feel bad for Mercado. She's a brawler. I think they put her in there on purpose. So we could see a knockout. So my pick is Serrano via KO in the 4th. All right, guys.
Nice.
Time for the main event. Jake Paul versus Tyrone Woodley. MMA fans, boxing fans coming together. This is what do you think about this card? First off, this main event.
The card as a whole is awesome, man, and the main event, it's I love it, man. I love that that it's Tyron Woodley coming over and he's fighting this new, I guess people still look at him as like a YouTube star or whatever he is, social media guy. And but I like it, man. I'm a little upset these other two guys ain't here to make their picks.
Yeah, definitely.
But yeah, I'm going with Tyron Woodley. I don't think that Jake Paul's ever fought, anybody near the level that Tyron Woodley is going to bring into the boxing ring with him. Yeah, I know Tyron Woodley was a wrestler in college. I know that he never really showed slick boxing, but I think he is levels and levels and levels above Ben Askren. Ben Askren ain't no boxer. He has knockouts on his resume, but they're from ground and pound. I think he actually might have one knockdown. I could be wrong. I'm not fucking right every time, but I want to say he only has one knockout that came from the feet, standing and striking. But anyway, yeah. Tyron Woodley, man, I think he's just on another level. I think he's going to school him, dude. I don't think it's going to be, one thing Jake Paul does have is power. He does have power. He's shown us his power. He knocked out Ben Askren. He knocked out, what was his name? Nate Robinson.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Nate Robinson, every time I think about it, it's just funny. The Nate Robinson knockout. But yeah, I'm going with Woodley. I think he's gonna beat him up, man. I don't think Jake Paul really knows exactly what he got himself into.
Mm-hmm. I agree a little bit. Because one of my questions that I wish the guys were here.
Yeah.
But I'll ask it to you. One of the problems that Woodley's gonna impose on Jake Paul is, can Jake Paul fight moving backwards?
Exactly. Yeah, that's a good question, man. Yeah.
And I so wanted to pick Woodley because what you said definitely makes sense, and that's what putting 1 and 2 together equals 2. But there's just, to me, there's a lot of money to be made with Jake Paul.
Yep. That's
and
true.
These are smart businessmen, and to me, why would they let the money train end right here with Tyron Woodley?
Makes a lot of sense. Well, you saying he's making a lot of sense too, man.
Yeah, I just because for
he's
sure,
a cash cow.
Woodley is definitely the best fighter he's ever fought, and we've seen Woodley get knockouts. And he's not so much a good striker, but he's explosive.
Yeah, very.
We saw what he did to Robbie Lawler, and it was the beginning of the fight.
Yep.
He just bam, that's it.
And we've never really seen him. We've never seen him box. When you fight MMA, you're preparing for different aspects of martial arts. There's so many things that you have to train for. It's not only striking. It's not only boxing, dude. People were throwing kicks at you. They're going for takedowns. They're trying to choke you out. So it's like so many things he's got to be ready for. Now he just got to focus on his hands for the last few months. So I'm excited to see what his hands are like.
Yeah, definitely, man. This is gonna be a great fight, and I haven't heard too much hype around it, man.
I know,
it's kind of just been silent, but I think the casuals are gonna come out Saturday, and we're gonna get some invites to come over to someone's house.
Definitely, yeah.
But yeah, man. To me, it's just like, man, there's so much money to be made. I don't think they would let Jake Paul fight Woodley if he was going to lose.
Right. Yeah, man.
But what do I know?
So do you think that do you think Showtime would pay Tyron Woodley to take a dive? You think
I don't know.
You think that happens?
Woodley looks like he would do some shit like that, bro. I'm like, but I don't know, man. Boxing's always been shady sometimes, but
yeah, I don't know, man. It's hard. I don't know. It could happen. Nothing is impossible. It is a business. Like you said, there's a lot of money involved, man. So I wouldn't put it past them.
You don't see too many dives nowadays just because it's so obvious from the past history.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I don't know about a dive, but maybe some corrupt judges.
Oh,
this is only 8 rounds.
Yeah.
Yeah. So more than likely, I don't see Paul knocking out Woodley. I just don't.
Yeah, I don't see that either, man.
But like I said, I don't know, man. I don't see Paul winning on the points either. So
yeah, there's just no part of me that is going to believe that Jake Paul is going to outbox Tyron Woodley. I just don't see him outboxing him. The only chance he has is to knock him out, and he does have a puncher's chance.
Yeah. But
I just don't think Woodley. I think Woodley is a good enough striker to understand he's gonna come for me with that overhand right, and he's gonna defend it.
Right. Mm-hmm.
I know he's training it really hard. So I don't think that that right hand is gonna be there for Jake. And I'm just gonna go ahead and assume that there's still some integrity in this sport, and that these guys are actually gonna go out and compete without, money being an issue. Once they get into that ring, they're gonna fight, man, and they're gonna box. And I just don't think Jake Paul's got the skills, man. I think Tyron Woodley's gonna put it on him.
Man, I'm gonna disagree, and I'm gonna go with Jake Paul, man, because like I said, that there's millions to be made off that kid.
It's very true.
I mean, if he beats Woodley, he could fight anybody else. Anybody, man. It could be Tommy Fury, and it could be a $1 million pay-per-view. So,
yep.
There's something. Maybe there's something about Jake Paul that we don't know, man.
I wonder what kind of opponent they would go with next. Would they actually go with a boxer? Because he hasn't fought a boxer. He fought a basketball player.
Mm-hmm.
I think first he was fighting other YouTubers. Then he fought basketball player. Then he fought an MMA guy, a wrestler, Ben Askren. Then now he's fighting Tyron Woodley, who's another MMA fighter.
Mm-hmm.
You think they'll go boxing next or no?
Depending.
If he wins, let's just say he does end up winning. What do you see them doing with him next?
Depending on how good Tommy Fury looks, might be him. If he looks too good, then probably not. But Tommy Fury's still really green. Like, he's still a young, like, up and coming fighter. Like, it'd probably might be an even match against a guy like Jake Paul, man. Might be, man.
And one of the advantages that we really didn't hit on yet is the size difference, because Jake will have a size advantage on Tyron Woodley.
This fight's at cruiserweight was like 190 or more or some shit like that.
Yeah, Jake's a big guy, man. Some people don't realize that, but he really is. He's a big guy.
Yeah, he's huge, man. He definitely is weight bullying. So
yeah,
I think that's the weight bullying and power advantage and the size advantage. I think that's what's keeping Showtime like confident.
Yeah,
and,
probably, man.
Yeah, like I said, I want to pick Woodley, but man, I think there's too much money to be made with Jake Paul right now. Well, both Paul brothers.
Yeah, that's true. Both of them. Shit, one of them just fought Floyd Mayweather, man. Like, that shit's crazy to me. I can't believe it.
Yeah, an exhibition bout got like over 1 million pay-per-views.
Yeah,
it's crazy, dude. But you did see some good fights on the undercard.
True.
I wish Badu Jack got to fight the original opponent.
Yeah,
but he's a great fighter. And then you got to see that war between Jarrett Hurd and Luis Aries. That was a great fight, man. All right, and that is all we have for fight reviews. And we're going to take a quick break and be right back. And we're back, guys, for the TDs portion of TDs and Flying Knees. And unfortunately, the TD guy is not here, Luis. He's out there spreading COVID to unfortunate bystanders. Just kidding, man. Hopefully he's at home. Yeah, man. So it's a little bit different. I'm going to kick it off to Jeff for the TDs portion today. And we're just going to review some preseason games and talk about the TDFK Fantasy League that I wasn't a part of, but I was there and I got to see.
Yeah, guys, I got some big shoes to fill. So hopefully I can fill them. I just got a little bit of news today. This news is actually happened today. Jaguars running back Travis Etienne is done for the season. He will undergo surgery to repair a lisp fracture in his foot. And that is unfortunate news because I know a lot of leagues out there have already had their drafts.
Oh, yeah.
And Travis Etienne, in most cases, is the first Jaguars running back taken. So I know in my draft, I've had one draft already, and he was taken before James Robinson was. So luckily I didn't draft him.
I think he was taken before a lot of other people were drafted.
He was, yeah. He was taken a little bit too high, but still he was still projected to be the starter. People were saying he was going to be the passing down, running back, and that he would get a lot of work because the Jaguars are just going to be behind a lot. But that's not the case anymore. He's done. So if you have James Robinson on your team already, congratulations to you. Mm-hmm. You got a steal because a lot of experts have Robinson right outside the top 10 in their fantasy rankings now. They have him around RB 13 or 14. And if you got him in the 11th round, 10th round, that is a steal, man.
Yeah, so, I know DJ was really high on Robinson. We kept bringing up Etienne, and he's like, no, Robinson.
Yep.
So DJ's pretty happy about that.
Yeah, I was upset, man, when the Jaguars drafted Travis Etienne. In the first round, I was upset. I was like, why? You already have a good running back, and he's not costing you hardly anything. Why would you waste it? I don't know. I'm not in the at the top of the organization of football, in the Jaguars organization, but whatever. They picked Etienne. Sucks for them because he's out. Next news, it's not really news. It's more of like just something that I saw last night when I was watching the Jaguars and the Saints. Marquez Callaway lit the Jaguars up. If you saw the game, you saw that he had 5 receptions on 5 targets for 104 yards and 2 touchdowns. TDs came from 43 and 29 yards, both in the first quarter. Both were thrown by Jameis Winston. As of right now, Callaway is 3rd on the depth chart behind Michael Thomas and Traquan Smith. However, both of those guys are injured. Smith should be back pretty soon, but Thomas, on the other hand, is going to be out for the next 4 months at least. So Callaway's a good pickup. If you guys already have had your draft, I would run to the waiver wire. I mean, by now, probably going to be picked up. But if you haven't drafted yet, keep your eye on Marquez Callaway.
Yeah, definitely.
He's a good pickup.
If you drafted, submit your waiver pickup. If you haven't drafted yet, maybe use one of your last later. What can you get him right now?
I would say he won't go undrafted, and I don't think he'll be there in the late rounds because he looked really good, man. And if you have Jameis Winston, also Jameis Winston looked really good. Pretty sure that he won the starting job last night with that performance. So if you have him passing the ball, he was looking Callaway's way a lot, man, and that's what you want, man. You want to get a receiver that has a good connection with his starting quarterback, and that's what I saw last night with Callaway and Winston. We all know Winston isn't the best quarterback. He's not a franchise quarterback in real life, turns the ball over too much, but as far as fantasy purposes, he's going to air it out to his receivers. We all know that. So I recommend picking Callaway up, and if you can draft him, I'm not going to lie, I'm not sure what round would be best, but I doubt he makes it to the 13, 14, 15th round. You're probably gonna end up he'll probably end up be taken around the 10th or 11th round. But good pickup, dude. Good receiver to have on your bench for sure.
Yeah, guys, you heard it first, because I do listen to other fantasy football podcasts, and I have not heard that name yet. So You heard it here first.
So I watched the game last night, and I noticed that Trevor Lawrence was kind of struggling. He made some bad throws, some bad reads, some very late throws. 2 throws that I saw should have been interceptions. They weren't. They were dropped, but they were awful decisions. So I don't know, man. I was high on Trevor. I was never high on Trevor Lawrence. I wasn't this low on him. Now I'm pretty low on him just based off. I know it's just one game, but just based off of what I saw, dude, I didn't really like it. He's not a big fantasy asset anyway. I think he goes towards the end of the drafts as a backup, But yeah, it's more about his receivers, and I was kind of excited about Laviska Shenault, about DJ Chark and Marvin Jones Jr. However, after that performance last night, I'm really, in my opinion, I'm gonna avoid those guys now. I don't know about you guys, but I'll be avoiding them.
And a lot of experts have Lawrence ranked pretty high in super flex leagues, the 2 quarterback leagues. So it's definitely someone I wouldn't feel safe if he was definitely my first or my second quarterback.
Yeah, so, maybe if you want to keep a third on your bench, maybe, because running quarterbacks do get scarce when you're in a 2 quarterback league.
They really do. I mean, I think one of the experts had him 11 for the Superflex. So, wow, man, that's insane. I'm definitely not going to be targeting Lawrence, man. I think there's other rookies that look way better that you could get even cheaper.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. I'm actually higher on Zach Wilson than I am Trevor Lawrence, Trey Lance, Justin Fields, if he plays. To me, those guys are more attractive fantasy assets in my opinion. But yeah, we don't have too much to talk about on the football side of things today, guys. But like I said earlier, I mentioned we did have a draft. I'm the only one here. DJ and Luis are also in the league, but they're not here, as you guys already know. I'm going to go ahead and read you guys off my team. And if you're listening, just grade my team. And Steve, you can grade my team since you're the only one here.
All right.
Give my team a grade. But so at quarterback, I have Josh Allen. My wide receiver 1 is Chris Godwin. Wide receiver 2 is Cooper Kupp. My running backs are Alvin Kamara, Austin Eckler, Antonio Gibson. And then my tight end is Noah Fant. On my bench, I have T. Higgins, Ronald Jones, Jerry Jeudy, Corey Davis, Mike Williams, Naheem Hines, and Tom Brady. And then my kicker is Younghoe Koo, who will probably end up dropping at some point, but he's a really good kicker. I was so surprised I got him, dude. Like I want to say 3 kickers went before Koo, and I think he's the number 1 fantasy kicker.
Wow.
I think. And then I have Denver's defense, but kickers and defense get dropped and added all year long, So
yeah. Guys, and Denver's defense is a good defense to pick up.
Yes,
the first few weeks of the seasons because they have a pretty easy schedule. You know what I mean?
Very easy.
Like the first 3 games are pretty fucking solid, and they have they got Von Miller. Come on.
Yep, they got him back. The first 3 games are the New York Giants, the Jacksonville Jaguars, and then the New York Jets.
There you go, guys. You don't have to pick up that defense with one of your last picks, and you don't have to worry about it for the next 3 weeks.
Yep, that's a good point, man. But go ahead and give my team a rating. I'm gonna let Steve look at it one more time.
Man,
I'm actually surprised that I ended up with these 3 running backs, dude. Today I saw a video online.
I am definitely surprised. Well, if I wasn't at the draft and you showed me this, I'd be like, wow, dude, how did you get those running backs? But after seeing the draft, I know why you got those running backs.
Right.
But DJ was over here boasting that he got an A on the grade.
He did. I got a B.
Yeah.
I think Luis got a B. But yeah, DJ won the draft according to the grading system that Yahoo has. He got an A.
I feel he did good up until that Kyle Pitts pick. I think that was way too early. But he didn't want to worry about a tight end.
That's true, man. See, I have that worry now. I have to worry about a tight end because I didn't invest in one early. I went running back heavy. And if you go running back your first 3 picks, now you got to worry about your receivers, So, and also by the time it got to me, when I was already thinking about taking the picks, the top 3 tight ends were gone. So I didn't want to waste another pick, a pick on a tight end.
I believe Luis he was the first to take a tight end.
Kelsey.
He took Kelsey with the second.
Mm-hmm. And then someone took Waller and then Kittle, the very next pick.
Yep. So, and then DJ, he went for Pitts just because it was, And guys, when that stuff like that happens, I know you feel pressured, but sometimes you want to just take what the draft gives you.
Yep.
You know what I mean? If tight ends are gone, well, you know what? Look at the running backs and the wide receivers that everyone's leaving on the board for that. I mean, unless you're in a super flex league where you need that quarterback, or something like that.
Yep.
But just take what the draft gives you, man. And I do like Jeff's team. I love those 3 running backs. That is a scary 3-headed monster. I don't feel too safe with the wide receivers.
Yeah, same here.
Just because Godwin, it's iffy. But, man, another year with Brady, I think I'm a little bit more confident in Godwin than Evans.
Oh, yeah.
So I think here. That's, it could be that.
If he can stay healthy, I really like him, man. He's a slot receiver. Yeah. I think he's the best overall receiver they have. Just his health, man. I had him last year. I told myself I'm not drafting him again. What do you know? This year I drafted him again. But like you said, sometimes you got to take what the draft gives you. Mm-hmm. And he's healthy.
They left those running backs for you. You had to take them.
I had to take them, yeah, which means I didn't get one of those elite wide receivers like, the Hopkins, the Hills, the Adams, Diggs. Those guys were gone. A.J. Brown, Justin Jefferson. So, yeah, but I am happy that I have T. Higgins on my bench.
Yeah, I saw that. And then you do have Jones, too.
Yeah, I have Ronald Jones on my bench, too. I think Jerry Jeudy will take a step up this season. And Corey Davis is a good sleeper. He's being heavily targeted by Zach Wilson over in New York. Mm-hmm. So, yeah, I'm pretty happy with my team, man. Like I said, I didn't expect to get these 3 running backs. Especially Gibson. I'm not sure how he fell to the 3rd round, but because in some fantasy drafts, he's going in the 1st round. Mm. And he's in, I saw a couple top 10 PPR backs rankings, and all 3 of these guys are in the top 10.
Yeah, man. 3 great running backs to get. This essentially 3 first-round picks on your team.
Yeah, dude. One other team I want to talk about that had a really good draft too is Anthony.
Yeah, Anthony had a great draft.
He had a great draft, man. And he also has some really good running backs. He has Saquon Barkley, DeAndre Swift, and Najee Harris. And guess what? Oh, he has Damian Harris on his bench, who is there people are really high on, the running back from the Patriots. They say he's the back that's gonna get the most touches. And then he also has James fucking Robinson.
Yep.
RB1 now from Jacksonville.
And
so
just in case you don't know who Anthony is, he is one of our good friends at and if you didn't know, DJ, Luis, and Jeff, Jeff and Luis are DJ's brothers and brother-in-laws.
Right.
And Anthony is DJ's cousin, so it's all family pretty much, man. I knew DJ since like high school, man, early high school or something. So it's all family here. But Anthony did come and do he helped be a producer for one episode. I was supposed to have that position in the draft, but I wasn't able to just because I felt unprepared. But after witnessing the draft, I felt like I should have.
You feel like you'd been prepared?
Yeah, just because. Yeah, the reason Jeff and Anthony and DJ got those great picks was just like every other home league. There's not going to be sharks in every single position. You know what I mean? Right. It's a home league. Some of them are your buddies and your friends. You know what I mean? And you don't want to be mean and kick them out or something like that. But I did see some suspect picks in that first round, man. And the dudes looked very confident. I'm stupid for not doing that. Right. I think one of the first, somebody picked Montgomery. It was his first pick. And I was like.
In the first round.
Yeah, in the first round. And I was like, man. And he looked super confident. I was like, man, well, what do you know? And then someone else took Clyde
Edwards-Helaire.
Yeah, in the first round as well with his first pick.
Yeah, man, I was very surprised. But it's all about coming to your draft and being prepared, guys, because a lot of the guys, they brought cheat sheets and like actual paper cheat sheets. And I know that that might make you feel a little more confident, like you see all the names on there. But there's nothing like paying $4.99 for an app that's going to give you the best shot at having the best shot that you can possibly have. I always pay every year. I pay for RotoWire, and it's $4.99. But to me, it's just awesome, man. There's so many different settings you can set in there, and you can just customize it to you can make your own rankings. You can make notes, so you don't forget about your sleepers in later rounds. It's just such a good app, man. And I did a lot of studying. I'm not gonna lie. I was probably one of the most prepared guys there, and I just feel like these guys, some of them, didn't do too much research, before the draft.
It just came because it's something, it's a social thing to be a part of, Yeah, and the lives.
And I get it. We all got lives, They have families. They got wives. They got kids. We all do. But if you're gonna pay $100 to be in the league, you should do yourself a favor and just do some research, man. I'm not talking. Steve's not saying every guy in the draft. There's a
lot of guys that really knew what they were doing.
Yeah, with some that made good picks, but there was just a couple of suspect picks.
What I think that threw people off is that the cheat sheets.
It is
the cheat sheets. They were just going off. Each individual quarterback had the rankings, and it wasn't all together overall like you would see. And that's what I think threw everybody off, because you're used to the phone or the computer that it's ranked. Christian McCaffrey, Devin Cook. Whoever is number 3. It wasn't like that. The cheat sheets just had quarterback 1 through whatever, running back 1 through whatever. So,
and I want to say it might not have been PPR, dude.
No,
it might not have been PPR. Yeah, maybe that's why the picks were a little off.
I went outside with DJ for a smoke break, and I said, DJ, don't use that cheat sheet. And I was like, he's like, why? Everybody else is using it. I was like, well, there's a lot of people that are using their phones and not that cheat sheet.
Okay.
And to me, it's a little suspect that they're printing out cheat sheets for other people to use. And to me, it's kind of like maybe they're trying to throw you off, because everybody was just looking at the cheat sheet.
No, it was just one guy that came in and he had the cheat sheet, and people started asking him for it. Okay. Yeah, it wasn't
intentional.
Yeah, it wasn't intentional at all. He just brought them for himself, and he said, or he did have extra copies. He said, if anybody wants one, I have extras. And then people were like, oh yeah, give me one. So yeah, it wasn't like that.
Yeah, it was just weird, because I didn't see an overall draft. It was just each position ranked, and I think that's what threw some of the other guys off. Because what do I know? David Montgomery could be number 1.
Yeah, and honestly, I'm high on David Montgomery.
Yeah, I was high too, but I'm just like me.
Maybe not that high though.
I wanted to tell him like, hey, You could have got David Montgomery in like
on the way back.
Yeah.
Yeah, or the third round maybe.
You could have got two legit players and at least one if you really wanted Montgomery, you could reach, but you know what I mean? And especially the Clyde Edwards-Helaire pick, the same thing. Like, hey, man, you could have got him a little later, man.
Yeah. For sure, man. I 100% agree. Could have been, picks like Aaron Jones could have gone. I'd have picked Aaron Jones first. I'd pick.
And nobody wanted to go first. They were picking picks, drawing cards, and they could pick their own picks, and nobody wanted first. And DJ is like, okay, I'll take it.
Yeah. So the way our draft works, guys, is we take a deck of cards. We get ace through 10, and we flip them over on a table, mix them all up, and then everyone draws a card. If you pick the ace, you get to pick your spot in your draft. You don't have to pick first. You just get to pick your draft position before anyone else. So if you want to pick third, you can put your name on the third draft spot. Then whoever got the 2, it's their turn to pick. Then whoever got the 3, so it just goes like that all the way from ace to 10. If you get the 10, you're last. You get whatever pick everyone didn't want. So, but yeah, a lot of guys wanted to pick towards the end because I guess if they were more comfortable picking towards the end of the draft. So I had the number 7 card, so I was 7th to pick my spot. Ended up with a 2nd pick.
Yeah.
So and I didn't want the 2nd. I'll be honest. I wanted like 4. That's like ideal. But I was like, I'd rather have 2, secure myself an elite back than I think the other spot that was left open was 10.
Yeah, and I guess I would have had Anthony's spot, which is what, 7 or 8.
Anthony picked the 9th spot.
The 9th spot.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So. Man,
well, who knows, dude? Because the way he picked it, Steve, he went and picked his own card. You could have grabbed a different card.
Yeah, that's true.
So we don't know where you would have ended up.
But
and real quick, before we change the subject, I'm a big fan of the league. Everybody in the draft, man. You guys are super cool. I'm kind of like the outsider. Luis, it's like Luis's friends group. I only knew like Luis and DJ, but all the guys are real cool, man. So hopefully we have a good season. Hopefully we don't have any more injuries. Because I know
somebody drafted.
Yeah, someone drafted Etienne. It was Eric. It was Luis's friend Eric. He drafted Etienne, and that already sucks, man. I feel bad for you because you did, spend a decent pick on him, and now he's out. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to the season. Hopefully, I'll defend my title. I'll be champ again next year.
Guys, and I know we don't have any live video, but as soon as we do get live video, I'll definitely post video of Luis in that cute dress he wore to the draft. So he was you could explain it, Jeff.
Yeah. So it was actually Luis's idea. Last year was his first year, our first year with this league. This is barely our 2nd year. But so last year Luis wanted there to be a punishment for last place. It was his idea. We were like, okay, what's the punishment, And he said whoever comes in 10th place has to wear a dress to the next draft. So Luis got 10th, and he's wearing a dress the whole draft. It was nice.
Yeah, he looked really cute, man.
He did, really cute. And it wasn't, it wasn't a loose dress. It was tight. It was
very
fitting.
tight. You saw all his curves.
Saw everything. Yeah,
his body is a wonderland.
Yeah, for sure. Once we get or maybe we'll. Nah, I don't think Luis will let us post it on any of our social media. But
yeah, well, I think I did post it actually to my Instagram.
Oh, nice.
So
awesome.
But you and I and Luis, we just started hanging out this year, maybe last year a little bit.
Yeah.
And we bonded over the love of combat sports and football.
Yep.
And that's when we started this podcast. So yeah, I don't know. It's been pretty cool, man. It's been a pretty cool experience, man. So shout out to DJ for having cool brother-in-laws. Right?
Yeah, man. And shout out to Nina for having a cool brother who had his cool brother-in-law and a cool best friend. And I
always wonder if Bree and Nina ever fight over who's his real sister.
Yeah, I know, right? I've thought about that too.
Like, no, I'm his real sister. No, I am.
Yeah, man.
Y'all should fight. I'm just kidding.
No, please don't. Please don't.
Just kidding, guys.
But yeah, it's awesome, man. It's just when I came into the family, and I noticed, hey, man, these guys like football and they like fighting and they like, this stuff just as much as I do. So it was it was real cool, and they're real accepting of me and my daughter. So it's been awesome, man. just being able to hang out with everybody reminds me a lot of my own family, because we're the same way. We like to watch sporting events. We love football. We're huge Dallas Cowboys fans, and it's cool to be a part of another family that is the same way.
Yeah, definitely, guys. And we are definitely missing DJ and Luis today, man. But yeah, guys, just to real quick before we go, if you're watching this on YouTube, hit that like button. It helps with the visibility of the show. Hit that subscribe button and that little bell notification. Turn that on so you get notified when we drop new episodes. And please, guys, subscribe and hit that like button because it helps with all those algorithms and that nerd shit that I don't understand, but is very important. You know what I mean? And like I said, I was very grateful that the last previous 4 videos before episode 14, they did get over 100 views. And that was like, wow, I couldn't believe it.
Same here.
The last video didn't get as much. It got like 73. But still, man, I don't even know more than the people who come in this podcast. So thank you so much. As hard as it is to believe, we do have some listeners, man.
We do have people that listen because we don't, we maybe have at the most maybe 15 people that we know, that listen to it, right?
Yeah.
And I don't think they go to YouTube for it.
Yeah.
They listen on Spotify.
Yeah, exactly. So you guys are listening to us, whether you like us or hate us. You're that one guy who always puts a thumb down on our show.
Yeah.
Whatever. Thank you still, because you're still giving us a view.
Yeah, I've had some people on Twitter, say negative shit about about the podcast and just about the Twitter page, and it is what it is, man. Like we're just trying to do something that we're passionate about this stuff, and it it's fun, so we're trying to do something, make something of it.
Yeah, man. And the reason I think how we saw the first 100 views was because I said, hey, I'm going to log in to my YouTube account and I'm going to promote it.
Right.
And I have been, and I did get some shit for it. So people saying, oh, it's pretty lame you promoting on another show. Yeah, I could see that if it was another show like us that's, barely getting by and getting views. But I'm doing it on the Air Hawani show, guys. The Weighing In podcast. These guys are huge. They don't care if I take one subscriber from them, man. And
to just like to clarify, we're not trying to take listeners. We're trying to attract someone who listens to Ariel Hawani, and maybe they'll listen to us as well. We're not trying to stop these guys from listening to Ariel. Ariel he's the fucking man in this game, he is when it comes to MMA podcasts, he's the fucking man,
Yeah, he really is the man. I mean, I was never a fan of him, but you got to admit he's the man.
He is, man.
He's the main man in MMA when it comes to podcasts and interviews. Right. I mean, you know what I mean? But what I think we do different is that unfortunately we don't have the big budget he does, and we can't get the interviews he does, but we do cover way more than Ariel does, man. I promise you that. Yeah. I promise you that Ariel will never cover, 5 fight cards. And a lot of those other podcasts won't either. Yeah. And we're just trying to, this is for combat sports fans, man. You know what I mean? I am an MMA guy and I am a boxing fan, but to me, I love them both. I love a beautiful 1-2 regardless of the size of the glove. You know what I mean?
That was beautiful.
And yeah, man. And I love grappling too. I really do. I know we had some debates about it's the equivalent to defensive boxing, but that was just, playing devil's advocate. I'm really a fan of grappling and everything. So I'm just trying to fill you guys' schedule up, man. There's a lot of stuff happening in MMA that's not getting covered. There's a shit ton of stuff that's not getting covered in boxing as well. So
yeah, part of the reason why, we do go over all these fights is because there was a time when we were, or like for myself, I can honestly say, that the UFC was the promotion that I watched the most, man, and that I was always looking forward to the next UFC card. Oh, when's the next card? Oh shit, there's no card this weekend. What am I gonna do? There's no fights to watch. But then I started to realize, hey, there is a lot more shit going on. I don't have to be without combat sports for the weekend. Yeah. And we just realized, all 4 of us, between the 4 of us, like, hey, there's probably lots of other people out there that are looking for combat.
And they just can't get it out there. They can't get enough of it. And they want to look for it. I mean, I'm there looking up highlight videos because there's nothing on, Yeah. So this is to you that just can't get enough of combat, man. Your day starts on Friday morning at 7:30. Right. And One Championship. And then you got PFL later that same night on Friday. Then Saturday morning, you got some legit boxing going on from the UK at 1 o'clock. I guarantee you're just waking up, probably.
Yeah.
Fuck it. Hit a bowl and watch some high-level fights.
Yep.
And then Saturday night, you got it's actually Sunday.
Yeah.
Saturday night's UFC.
Sunday is Jake Paul.
Sunday night is Jake Paul and Tyron Woodley. So, guys, I don't think any other podcast got your back like us, man.
Yeah, all we're trying to tell you guys and let you guys know is that there's so much more out there, besides the UFC. And just because you don't know these guys' names, just because they're not household names, doesn't mean that they're not going to put on a good show and entertain you. Doesn't mean they're not high level. They're just not in the biggest MMA promotion out there. But these guys can still fight, man. And if you just tune in to watch these fights, you'll be satisfied. You'll be happy.
Yeah, I guarantee you're gonna love the one cards. I haven't seen a one card that I did not like, and I don't even know who the fuck most of these people are. Exactly. And after the card, I know who the fuck they are, man. Yeah. And same thing for boxing too. I know there's a lot of boxing fans that go, "Oh, MMA is gay," and then boxing, MMA fans, so boxing's fucking boring. It's lame. And man, both wrong. It's fucking. There's a lot going on, man. And I think when we first started hanging out, I was trying to get everybody to watch these UK cards. Yeah. And everyone's like, who are these guys, right? Yep. And I think the first card I turned you on to was I can't remember what it was, but I know Daniel Dubois was on that card, and you had just when he came in and he got that quick ass knockout. Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, and I'm like, I promise you, TDFK fam, I will not mention a fight if it's not worth watching, guys. Yeah, same other than the Rico fight. That was my one defeat, but I couldn't tell that, man. Like Rigo's last couple of fights were actually pretty good. Yeah. So I apologize for that, the marathon over there. But other than that, man, we're giving you legit cards. But other than that, that is all for today's show. Is that all? Yeah, man. Yep. All right, guys. And until next time, we'll see you later.
God bless! See you at the top!